Hi, I'm Evan and welcome to my fish room. Today's video will be about snails, how to remove them from your aquarium, and after I show you how I get snails out of the aquarium, I'll talk about how I feel about snails. Are they beneficial? What are they good for? And do you really need to get rid of the snails out of your aquarium? One way is to throw a chunk of cucumber into the tank and just let the snails get on the cucumber and just simply net them out. So that's what I caught just off that little cucumber. You can see there's still lots of little baby snails who made their way into like almost burrowed right into the cucumber. Another way is to use a snail trap. This is just a cheap one that I got from Big Al's in Edmonton. I came with this little vial of snail bait. Looks like just a pellet food of some kind. But yeah, it comes with this little contraction here, and you open it up and you put the snail bait in here. And then you just put it in the tank. Came with a piece of fishing line that you could tie on. So you don't even have to get your hands wet. It works not bad. I'll show video of it working. So there it goes. There you go. You just leave it sitting like that for a half hour or so, and you come back and that's covered with snails. I would just like to take a moment to thank all of my subscribers. It means so much to me. There's really no point in continuing this channel without you guys. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button, and I'm going to try and stick with this pace of one weekly video. Thank you very much. So it's been about 45 minutes since I set this up. Had dinner and whatnot. As you can see, some snail have climbed up into it. Now, I'm trying to do this one-handed. Just pull it up. There you go. Snail trap full of snails. So we'll just put it here and see what we got. Not bad. 19 or 20 snails for really 2-3 minutes worth of work. Can't complain about that. Another great way to control snail population is get yourself an assassin snail. Now, if you're having more of a community tank with bigger fish, you can get loaches that eat snails. That doesn't work with a shrimp tank, because if a loach is going to eat a snail, it's definitely going to eat a shrimp. And they're going to be a lot more efficient at eating shrimps than another snail would be. And assassin snails, you don't even see that often, because they like to burrow in the substrate. So lots of times you'll just see their striped shell just poking out of the sand. Every so often you'll see one up on the move when it's hunting. But they're more of an ambush type predator where the unsuspecting pond or ram's horn snail will come by, and then the assassin will assassinate him and have his dinner. I personally think snails are an important part of the ecosystem, as they clean up leftover food. If a fish happens to die and you don't notice it, the snails will clean that up for you too. They're also great algae cleaners, as I will show my 3 videos, short clips of how they cleaned off the crypts for me. They didn't really touch the blackbeard algae on the Anubias, as you'll see, but they definitely took care of the diatom algae. So today is February 22nd. I just put these plants in here yesterday from the 20-gallon long that was in my living room. You can see the pond snails are attacking all that algae built up on the leaves. So it is February 23rd. and the algae has been almost completely cleaned off this crypt in one day. That's, or well, I guess 2 days. That's pretty good. And we'll look in here. Same thing, the algae's been cleaned off the crypt fairly well. They don't seem to go after that hair algae at all. So it is now February 26th. This crypt has been completely cleaned off by the snails. The Anubias has been cleaned off, but they haven't touched the blackbeard algae. Forgive the hair algae on the glass. But yeah, they cleaned off the crypts completely. And they didn't touch the blackbeard algae. But that's still pretty good. They also aren't very good at eating hair or string algae. They seem to do really well with green spot and like diatom type algae. The nice thing about little rock pond or ram's horn or what's considered a pest snail is they aren't very big. So when they get up onto your plants or whatever, they don't bend them or break them off or anything like that. Like I used to keep mystery snails in my 90-gallon aquarium. I have a video on that aquarium, how it was set up at my old house. Check the description for that. I'll put the link there. But the mystery snails would get up onto the stem plants, and they were heavy enough that the whole stem plant would be bent over in half. Then you'd let go and the stem plant would slowly go up. But sometimes they would break off or they'd come unrooted. So they can be pretty detrimental. A lot of people say snails eat plants. If you have healthy plants, I haven't found that to be true. They will eat dead or dying plants. Now you might be wondering, how did I get snails in the first place? They could have came in on a plant you bought, or maybe you bought some used substrate and the snails were dormant in the substrate. Maybe you bought a bag of fish from somewhere and a little snail got past you and in the bag and made it into your main aquarium. Usually you won't have a big outbreak as they call it with snails unless you're overfeeding. If you're not overfeeding your fish, you won't see a massive snail explosion unless of course your tank is full of algae or lots of detritus and stuff like that. Snails will reproduce to the food available to them. As you can see in this tank, there are quite a few dead snails in here, and that's strictly from not overfeeding and letting them die off on their own. In this tank, there's only 6 cory cats. Well, you can see one way in the back there. But I don't feed this tank very heavily, usually once a day with some sinking foods. So the cory cats get to all the food before the snails have a chance to. And then whatever little morsel that's left over, a few snails are able to survive on. Then you have a tank like this, where I've been feeding a little bit heavier because there's cory cat, fry in there. Big one in the back, but there's about 6 cories in there. Most are small, like this one right back here. So the snails are kind of outbreaking, if you will. Lots of people will try and smoosh snails inside the tank. All that does is adds more snail food to the aquarium. And if you're not careful, you could mess your water chemistry up doing that. I don't recommend killing things in your tank. A good aquarium can handle if a fish dies. But you shouldn't be trying to do that kind of stuff on purpose. I just wanted to say that Sierra actually makes a nice snail trap. It's more like a plastic box, and then it's got bars on the entrance, so you can control what size critter can actually make it into the box. At the local fish store I saw it at today, it was $25. So, well, that's Canadian dollars. So in America, you know, it would be almost free. Time you pay tariffs and our dollar is 75 cents on your dollar, it'd probably be $10 or so, which is reasonable for what I would say it is. It's just the way our Canada is, that everything has to cost 3 times what it costs elsewhere. Well, thank you for watching. If you have any comments or questions, well, leave them in the comments section. If you're not a subscriber, please consider hitting that subscribe button and follow me along as I build out my fish room and build out my YouTube channel. Thank you so much.